Respectful dear family members, first point now I would like to say an outline about Vedas. Vedas are called Anadi. The first book written in the world is Rig Veda. The first Rig starts in Rig Veda with Agnimile Purohitam Yajnasya Deva Mritwijam Hotaram Ratnadadamam Agnipurve Bershibidhyo Nudanairuta Sadevang Ehavakshati Agnina Arayimasnavat Poshameva Dive Yasasam Viravattamam Agniyam Yajnamadvaram Vishwada Paripurasi Sayideveshu Gachati. It goes like that. Remember that when these Vedic mantras were written, nobody knows that. That is the reason why Vedas are called Anadi. The beginning point of the Vedas, we do not know about it. So it is called Anadi. Anadi means starting point is unknown. Vedas are also known as Apaurusheya. If you learn Vedas, you will understand that it's beyond the capacity of human beings to compose such a fantastic Sanskrit mantras without any grammar mistake, without any violation of the rules of Chanda Shastra, adoring the nature. So perfect language, written thousands and thousands and thousands years before that. The Westerners never will say it's written 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years, because according to Bible, Jesus Christ is the 99th generation of Adam and Eve. Jesus is 99th generation. So one generation is 25, 30 or 35 or 40 or 50 you take. So 100 generation means 5,000 years or 4,000 years or 3,000 years. So the first human being, it's a fake story, humbug, foolishness to say Adam and Eve. The first human being in the world was formed 3000 BC or 4000 BC. So they will never put the age of Vedas 5000 BC or 6000 BC or 7000 BC. Because Bible, Quran and all other Semitic religious books say that when the first human being. But scientifically it is proven beyond a doubt that the full human body could be excavated from Ural mountains of Italy, which is as old as 69,000 years. Full human body. 2 million years old human skull has been taken from Mongolia and Africa. So human beings are not formed on a fine day as God created Adam and Eve. All nonsense and humbug. That is the base of Bible and to some extent other Semitic religion. But in India, you know that one, archaeologically BC 8275, we had made pure copper, brass, bronze, etc. in India, BC 8275 archaeological evidence. So, even during that period, Veda might have composed at least by Sanskrit words. So, first creating Sanskrit letters, then words, then rules for composing the mantras, then writing the mantras by 209 rishis in Rig Veda. We can say about 200 rishis composed this Vedic mantra. And Veda Vyasa, Krishna Dvaipayana, in Vyasa Kula, may not be single person, it may be a group, Gotra. They composed all these mantras, hymns or hymns, whatever may it be. These mantras together and classified them into Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. And writing and reading and understanding these Veda mantras is something beyond the level of human beings. That is why it is called Apaurusheya. Vedas are Anadi. Vedas are written beyond the capacity of human beings, Apaurusheya. And whatever they could see in the nature, they just translated it into Sanskrit words and mantras. So what they could see in the nature, that got translated as mantra. That is why they are called mantra drashtaraha. Those who composed Veda mantras are known as mantra drashtaraha. Generally, mantras can also only be heard, not seen. But Anadi Veda, Apaurisheya Veda, written and composed by mantra drashtaraha rishis, they wrote these mantras and might have kept somewhere. And Bhagavan Vedavyasa took these mantras and compiled it in Rig Veda. 3,97,556 letters in Rig Veda, 1,93,516 words. There are 27 shakhas in Rig Veda. Some people say 25 shakhas, recensions. Shakha means recension, not branches. So these Vedas, remember that all the mantras which give pure, absolute knowledge, Paramarthika Jnanam, that is compiled in Rig Veda. The mantras used for performing yagas and yajna, put in Yajurveda. The mantras which can be converted into beautiful song for chanting in Yajna Shala, they became part of Samaveda. The mantras needed for common people, very common people, those who are doing agricultural work, those who are treating the patients, and those who are doing Vyavaharika Karma, those mantras are compiled in Atharva Veda. All the Vedas are equally important. No Veda is inferior to other Veda. So remember, Rig Veda has got 25 or 27 recensions. Yajurveda has got 108 recensions. Samaveda 1001 recensions. Atharva Veda 52 recensions. These mantra means mananena trayade iti mantra. Mananena trayade. If you are chanting the mantra, it will be giving fantastic neuro-linguistic effect in your brain, which means curative chemicals, hormones are produced in your brain. So chanting Veda mantra has become mantra therapy now world over. Mantra therapy means chanting the mantra and reducing the BP, psychosomatic diseases, and so on. It is not through spirituality, but just like music therapy, you can see mantra therapy, not black magic or something like that. If you have got a BP, just listen this Veda mantra. Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage has brought Rig Veda, Krishna Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, all the 5 Vedas in digitalized CDs without any copyright. So just put in your car, 40 hours Rig Veda, CD is there, put in your car. While driving, you can see mentally, physiologically, you will be very calm. Not because of the blessing of the God, but because of that neuro-linguistic effect. So Veda mantras are nothing but universal truth messages. Beyond caste, beyond religion, beyond the color of the skin, beyond the boundary of the nation, beyond the level of sex, sexual bifurcations, beyond the level of academic qualifications or linguistic barrier. Anyone and everyone should read or listen Vedas. I heard when I happened to go to US that many scientists from NASA and other laboratories, they listen Vedas continuously while doing their work. Vedic societies are there in almost all European countries, having thousands and thousands and thousands of members enrolled and learning Vedas. Remember that a Western individual will not do anything if it is useless. They will be analyzing and understanding the merit of doing something. Need not be everyone, but generally. If they get the benefit and merit out of that, definitely they will follow and they will make others also follow that. So it's my duty to see that when Vedas are to be explained to suit the people of 21st century. So this is the message that I want to give about Vedas. Now next point I would like to say, now you can see that when hundreds and thousands of people are being booked for corruption, hypocrisy and malpractices, etc. Why we are doing like that? Why majority of the people are supporting this type of corruption when they do it, and even though externally they fight against it. Outside they talk all these Satyam, Dharmam, Niti, Nyayam, and practically internally they are doing all the negatives. What we lost is the culture, dharmic value. India has lost after independence the dharmic value. Yada Raja, tada Praja. Those who ruled India, they were also corrupt in nature for keeping their chair alive as prime minister or ministers. They underwent the pathway of corruption for making money, for spending in the election, for making sure that their seat they are getting it in the election. So bribe, corruption and all those things have been taught from top to bottom by the top people, rulers. So remember, what we have lost is nothing but dharmic value. Dharma means duty plus responsibility plus privilege. The duty of the individual, the responsibility of individual, the privilege of the individual. Dharma, that we lost. That is why now corruption is becoming so common. Next point I would like to say that whatever you want to give to your children, start it from the age of 3. Through stories you should give the messages to the children, so that their mind will be expanding, thoughts will be becoming vigorous, their imagination capacity will be enlightened. So give the messages right from 2.5 or 3 years as messages, stories. Then slowly give the messages as the experiences of the people from Ramayana, Mahabharata or anything. Then when they become something like 8, 9 or 10 years, give the advice also. Barking dogs seldom bites. Satyameva jayate namratam. Satyena bandha vidato devayana. Satyam vada. Dharmam chara. Swadhyayanma pramada. Satyanna pramaditavyam. 1 or 2 or 3 words. Best messages are available from Indian Upanishads. When I say Indian Upanishads, from India, I meant that only. Uttishtata. Gloriously stand up. Whenever problem comes, don't get yourself desperate and get tired. Jagrata. Be aware that you are not permanent in this world. One word, Jagrata. Meaning, message is that be aware that you are not permanent in this world. Prapyavaran nibodhata. Enlighten yourself by acquiring knowledge from the scholars. Enlighten yourself by acquiring knowledge from the scholars. So right from the age of 3, start giving messages through stories. When he or she grows, give the messages as experiences of the people from the far past, near past and present. And then when he or she grows, give the messages directly. When they reach about 12, 13, 14, they will be having a natural tendency to keep away from the parents. By that time, you should have given everything, whatever is to be given, either as stories, experiences, messages, and truth and fact available in the Upanishads to them. In between 12 to 13 and 21, 12 to 21, 22 years, students will be rejecting it. The youth will be rejecting the messages given by the parents. Simple. Youths will be rejecting the messages given by the parents. That is the nature given quality to them. For making themselves independent, nature has given that repulsion quality. After 22, they again will be following you. So give good dharmic messages, Satyam, Dharmam, Niti, Nyayam, when your child or children are in the young age. Next point I would like to say, many people used to say, daughter or son or anybody, according to Indian constitution, have got the freedom to select their wife and husband and live any way they want. I only wanted to tell one thing. The affection given by the mother, it is not written in Indian constitution. The affection and responsibility taken by the father for nurturing and bringing up their children, that is nowhere written in Indian constitution. You cannot define anything like a happiness, contentment, satisfaction in the Indian constitution. Don't say that when everything is according to Indian constitution. One person who is living for about 85 years, he may be using Indian constitution or referring Indian constitution once in a while, very, very rarely. The experiential knowledge in the life which motivates us to live in this world, that is not through Indian constitution. If you should have patriotic mind, it is not mentioned in the Indian constitution word by word by word. Every minute, every second you have to demonstrate nationalism and patriotism. Even if it is mentioned indirectly or directly in the Indian constitution, nobody can verify whether somebody is doing it or not. So always remember that. For every problem, Indian constitution is not the solution. Many progressive, many leftist and many intellectuals and many so-called cultural people are talking about Indian constitution. When your daughter or somebody's daughter is married with a Muslim or Christian, or some issue comes, we always talk about Indian constitution. But the same thing happened for the person who is talking about Indian constitution, then he will keep quiet. That is what is happening in Kerala. Many communist party people who said there is no Hindu blood in us, no Christian blood in us, no Muslim blood in us, their daughters and sons are going through love jihad to Islam, and through that pathway few are going for terrorism and going to Syria for something like that. So this is what is happening. When your mind is empty and you are talking always about Indian constitution, Indian constitution may be giving so many things and it will be giving so many things, and it is not a day-to-day application for building our family relation between the children and the parents, or the relation between wife and husband. Constitution wise you can separate at any time. Put some allegation, put some negatives, put some charges against the husband or wife. Constitutionally you can get separated. But remember that constitution need not be brought for each and every items for making a life hell or hellish life. Constitution is needed, but not always. Next point, my experience in Palakkad district. Few years back, about 5 or 6 years back, I happened to go to Chittoor Government College. It's a very famous, very old traditional college, teaching almost all the subjects. But the student union goes to Students Federation of India, leftist students. I was invited by few people, but the Students Federation of India students wanted to see that when nobody is attending my lecture. They wanted to see that when I start my lecture, the auditorium should be empty. When they came to know that my lecture is arranged in Chittoor, Palakkad Chittoor College, every department, Malayalam department, history department, sociology department, physics department, chemistry department, and union, college union people also started organizing different programs for their department association members, so that they will not come to the lecture delivered by me in that college. But few students were very happy, few teachers were very happy, professors were very happy, but they were afraid whether the enough response will be there for organizing such a program. But I started explaining purely one line, Prajnanam Brahma, which is there in the Aitareya Upanishad of Rigveda. Awareness and consciousness in the human body, which is suitable for a zoology student and biochemistry student. Awareness and consciousness present in every living cell of a plant. That is suiting in such a way that the botany students will become happy. How the human behavior is elaborated economically, financially, socially, intellectually, psychologically. I explained the whole thing as Prajnanam Brahma, as individual consciousness, social consciousness, and cosmic consciousness. I explained it word by word. But within something like 10 minutes and 15 minutes, the total auditorium got filled. All the association minor programs organized to prevent the attendance in my lecture class, that got distorted and got a flop and cancelled. About 80-85% of the students attended my lecture. But I talked only about awareness and consciousness as given by our rishis in Aitareya Upanishad of Rig Veda. It was a grand success. I am telling this to you just to inform you that whatsoever may be the nature of the students, whether they are leftist, rightist or middleist, don't worry about it. Give in their wavelength, whether it is our heritage or modern science or the future economy, give in their wavelength, they will take. That is the mind, that is the intellectual capacity of the students. Many a times, students do not take what the teachers are giving only because it is not given in their wavelength. Be with them, be one among them. They will definitely take it. My experience in Chittoor College, Government College, which was ruled 100% by leftist students' union, they could understand what is meant by Indian heritage. Still, I remember it nicely. Next point, I would like to tell one example. You know, Alexander came to India. I cannot say Alexander the Great. He destroyed India. Since he destroyed India, how can an Indian say Alexander the Great? He is not great for Indians. He was an enemy. He destroyed India. He just ruptured India when he came to India during 330 BC. 330 BC. But for Chanakya and Chandragupta, Vikramaditya, India would have been crumbled because of Alexander. When he invaded India and faced the colossal attack from India to his army, the commanders of the army started telling that we cannot proceed to India because the soldiers are not interested in accepting ensured death. They wanted to return. One person, one commander from Yemen, Alexander's army men, he retained in India. He did not go back with Alexander to Damascus. He stayed in India and he settled in one village. His name was Demetrios. He brought some Indians together and said, I want to become the king of this village. Everybody agreed. But the only condition they put, you should accept Hindu Dharma and you should accept Hindu name. Thus, Demetrios became Dattamitra. And he built a fantastic dynasty, ruled for 20-25 years, and ruled fantastically with all positive attitude, never created any negative, never converted anybody to any other religion, but Dattamitra country or nation or small dynasty was one among the fantastic contribution given by Demetrios, that is Dattamitra, to Indian. So Indians could accept anything from anywhere. Just like the mother of Alexander said, India is Devabhumi, where Deva Nadi, Ganga is flowing. Indians never invaded any other country with military force. But Indians have never allowed any military force which invaded India to return. Anybody invaded India, they were never allowed to return also. They never allowed invaders to come to India, and they never allowed the invaders to return in the same size and shape. That is why wherever English people ruled, 100% they converted the locals into Christianity. But only in India, 2% of the people were converted into Christianity. And Muslims, wheresoever they invaded, in India they ruled about 600 years. Still they could not convert India into a Muslim land. Even though a part of India, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh got converted into Islam, literally India remained as India, even if they ruled centuries in this country. So Demetrius, you take for that matter, many people who came to India, they became part and parcel of India. Demetrius was one among them. And I will be continuing this message which was explained in Malayalam, that will be further explained in English. My name is Dr.N. Gopalakrishnan. I am formerly the scientist of CSIR. For 25 years I worked as senior scientist of CSIR. I worked in University of Alberta. I have delivered many lectures in US, UK and Canada. And now I started in 1999 Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage and working as the director of IISH, learning, teaching, preaching, practicing, popularizing, acting and reacting about Indian heritage using the modern scientific and technological background. My request to you, learn and teach Indian heritage scientifically, logically, rationally, and teach others also. One day I am sure that, as Swami Vivekananda said, the 20th century belongs to Americans, whereas 21st century will be Indian century. Now you can see that 21st century is becoming Indian century. It's our duty, responsibility and privilege to see that past of India, present of India and the future of India are marvelously integrated, good from the past, integrating with the good from the present and future. My pranams to you. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Thank you very much.